welcome to Friday Night Supper Club. I'm Sarah Lynn.
And I'm Alicia.
And tonight we are making soup dumplings.
Oh my gosh, I actually am really scared to make these, but I've enjoyed eating these for years. And we are using Serious Eats recipe, so let's hope it serves us well.
So I have been a massive fan of soup dumplings for years, but I've always been too intimidated to make them, so this is gonna be really fun.
If you've never had soup dumplings, they're pretty much a dumpling where the inside is not just a filling, like a meat filling, but it has soup around the filling, like liquid soup.
Yeah.
And when you eat it, you're thinking, how the heck did they get the soup into this
Into
pocket?
the dumplings.
Well, the secret is through gelled broth. So the first step is making our broth, and to make a gelled broth, you need bones.
You need bone, that's exactly it. So all the gelatin is going to come from the bones. You can do this with pork bones, but we're actually doing it with chicken today, as the recipe calls for.
These are chicken backbones, and I walked into Whole Foods and asked at the counter if they had any. $6 for all these bones. So,
and it's a really good way to use up the parts of the chicken that people may not want. So once they cut the breast, the wings, and the legs off, what's left is the backbone. So they're perfect for soup. We also have
a big slab of bacon.
Holler. For flavor, we have got the whites of 6 green onions and the greens of 3 green onions.
We're saving the rest for later.
Yes, exactly. We also have a knob of ginger headed in here and some white peppercorns.
Whole white peppercorns. And we're going to cover it with water. And then pretty much we're just gonna bring this to a boil and then turn it down to simmer for a few hours before letting it gel up in the fridge. And it's boiling! Mostly it was a second ago, trust me. So now we're pretty much gonna turn this down to a simmer and let it go for 2.5 hours. And we can't really skip or shorten this step like we like to do sometimes on Friday Night Supper Club because we have to make sure we can extract all of the gelatin before we cool it. So we're not going to make any mistakes here.
Can we also just mention another quick tip for everyone? You have to keep in mind that even once this broth is ready, it has to sit for at least 8 hours to become a gel. So
yes,
if we're doing real talk.
Yeah, is this a Friday night recipe?
It's basically like make your soup on Thursday and then your gelatin will be ready for your Friday night supper club.
Sleepover.
Oh!
Friday night.
And then dumplings for breakfast.
Yeah.
You may or may not know that mine and Alicia's least favorite thing to do in the kitchen is to food process meat.
And this is the second time we've had to do it on the show. Why? It doesn't seem like a thing you'd have to do that much.
Today, it is ground pork headed into the food processor, like so. So we have raw peeled shrimp headed in here. We've got our raw pork, and this is the base of our filling.
I also have soy sauce, Shaoxing wine, sugar, salt,
and green onion. All of the remaining greens from our green onion.
Yes, nothing is wasted. And we're going to now close our eyes and blend this. 12 to 15 1-second pulses. Okay, count. Ready? And 1. Ah! That wasn't the pulse button. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It kind of just looks like pate. It's definitely not as gross as the last pureed chicken situation. We're gonna chill it in the fridge before we make our dough.
2.5 hours later.
Magic has occurred.
Well, we hope.
We really, really hope. That's the worst part about this process is we're not actually gonna know if it worked until it's like
8 hours from now.
All right, we're gonna remove all of the big chunks, strain the rest, and then we have to get the liquid setting in the fridge so that it gels up. Killed it.
nice job.
Boom. Okay, that's a yellow broth.
The final step before we let this chill is actually going to be just to pour it into a sort of lower dish. This is going to help us when we have to actually cut it into cubes.
Which actually is not in the recipe, but in our research, we have seen other people do this with success, and we figure why not take the extra step just in case.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it worked really well this way.
We want to set ourselves up for success.
Exactly. And then you can have individual little gel bites.
And now to the fridge. All right, so it's time to make the dough. It's super simple, 2 ingredients.
It's my kind of dough.
Right? We've got flour in the food processor, and as that runs, we're gonna slowly add in some boiling water. Okay.
Oh, this is the exciting time.
It's gonna become a ball.
It's going to become a ball.
So now we're just going to put it in the bowl. Ooh, it's hot.
It is hot.
That's a
Here,
hot
let me take
dough.
this blade out before you do that.
Aw, thanks.
You know,
You're so kind.
fingers first, everybody.
So now we're going to make this into a ball. All right, so now we let it sit under a damp towel for 30 minutes before
Roll
doing
it out.
anything, before we can't do anything, actually.
Oh my gosh. So we have been very patient. We have allowed this to cool completely, and it's supposed to be gel, but we're a bit concerned.
We're not sure. So the top is definitely the fat that's separated. So let's
There's
cut
only
into
one
it.
way to do this. Oh, I mean, it's
jelly.
definitely gel.
It's jelly. It's not like Jell-O, but it's like jelly.
I
Okay.
bet you the broth is really tasty though. It smells really good. So this is basically going to be mixed together and then put back in the fridge to chill, which is another really important step because we need it to sort of come together. You better watch out. That's like raw shrimp to the max, sister. Raw shrimp and raw pork.
The dough has sat! And now it's time to begin making this big dough ball into 40 little ones.
40.
We'll see if that actually happens. So we're gonna flour our surface. You're gonna cut that into pieces that we can work with.
Yes, so I think we're doing into quarters first, and then the idea is to take the quarters and divide them into 10
Yes.
1 tablespoon
Size.
bits.
So we're gonna roll this single piece.
And it's super important to have lots of flour on your surface. We did watch a video of this online, as we often do, to make sure we don't totally mess it up. And what the person we watched suggested is to just use your fingers first to sort of make it into a circle. Look how good these little rolled bits of dough look. We're
I know.
By the end, you feel like a total pro. The first few were wonky.
But the dough held together really well. It made me more hopeful for this next step, which is filling. And now we're going to simply add a tablespoon of filling to each rolled out dough and pleat the edges together to give it that dumpling shape.
That was so much harder than I think we thought it would be. We've had several casualties. These like all started to break and started to ooze out, so I don't think they'll work because I think they'll just ooze in the actual steamer. And
My A-type personality hated that. Can we steam these already?
we're now ready to steam these bad boys. So we have our steamer, a bamboo steamer.
And we were supposed to line this with Napa or Chinese cabbage, but I went to like 6 grocery stores, couldn't find it. So we just have some other kind of cabbage. And we're gonna put our dumplings in delicately and then steam them. I got this steamer like 2 years ago and I've never used it.
This is so much pressure moving these dumplings now that they have been painstakingly made.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think if you're just delicate,
You definitely feel like this is a job for you.
I'm happy to do this job.
I feel like
The last job, don't ever make me do that again. So we have some simmering water, steamer going on top. Now, it says you can use a wok or saucepan. My wok is huge, like there's no room for water in it if I put this in here, so we're just gonna use the pot.
And
but
hope for the
now,
best.
5 minutes on the clock.
Those look dumpling-esque for sure. We're
So-
only gonna know when we taste, so I think
Let's just do
we
it.
gotta do it.
Okay. Okay, it's time to taste test.
That was a lot of work, so I have very high hopes for these.
There's some soup in it. You gotta eat it all at once though. In the video, she like takes a bite and lets the soup come out and whatever, but
You're just like, no,
the only way I eat soup dumplings is I put the whole thing in my mouth and pop it and let all that soup get in your mouth.
I expected them to be soupier.
Yeah, I think that was something we did wrong.
The flavor is way, way better than I thought it was gonna be. And
Ooh, they're yummy.
the texture is really, really good.
They're yummy.
Guys, we will link the recipe in the description box below if you want to give these a try at your own Friday night supper club.
And if you do, tag us on all of our social accounts. They are also linked in the description box below.
And as always, of course, we will see you next Friday for more deliciousness like this. All right, which one do I go for next?
Just put the whole thing in your mouth. Don't take the bite.
All right,
Trust me.
without the gobs of soy sauce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for soup.
It's better. It's more soupy when you do it.